Tonight, growing calls for the Obama administration to immediately seek the return of a convicted cop killer and one of America's most wanted domestic terrorists who's been hiding in Cuba for decades. Joanne Chesmard was a member of the Black Liberation Army and convicted in 1977 of murdering state trooper Werner Forster during a gunfight after being stopped on the New Jersey Turnpike. Chesmard was sentenced to life in prison but escaped 2 years later. She has been hiding in plain sight in Cuba for more than 30 years and granted political asylum by Fidel Castro. Last year, Chesmard was the first woman added to the FBI's most wanted terrorist list. Both the FBI and the New Jersey State Police each offering $1 million reward for her capture. And now there are renewed calls to bring her to justice. Judge Alex Ferrer, host of Judge Alex, the retired Florida Circuit Court judge and former police officer, joins us live. Good to see you tonight, sir.
Good to see you too, Shannon.
All right, so what do you make of this? There are a lot of people, including Democrats, I think of New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez, who are saying, listen, if we made some kind of deal with Cuba and we're opening up these lines and doing things that benefit them, there are a lot of fugitives out there, but this woman is at the top of the list. How come sending her back wasn't part of the deal?
Absolutely, that's a great question. It's not like the administration didn't know about her. I mean, she is on the FBI's most wanted list. I guarantee you they knew that she's hiding out in Cuba. So we gave them 3 spies, 3 convicted spies, one of whom was also convicted of 2 counts of conspiracy to commit murder for 2 deaths. We loosened travel restrictions. We allowed the exchange of money with the island going forward. And in exchange for that, we got 1 member of the Cuban military who was feeding us information, because apparently Alan Gross, if you believe the administration, wasn't part of that deal. That was our trade. I think that it would have been a good idea to say, hey, you know what? You've got several murderers over there. She's one of them, and she's the key one. There's also Charles Hill, who was involved in, or suspected of being involved and has, I believe, even confessed to being involved in the murder of a state trooper. He's living his life comfortably in Cuba as well. A good deal would have been to say to the Cuban government, you know what? We're going to trade you these 3 spies and loosen travel restrictions. We want every fugitive that you have over there, which are dozens of U.S. fugitives, including the ones who stole hundreds of millions of dollars through Medicare fraud. That would have been something I could get behind.
All right, and something a lot of folks won't know is that you were born in Cuba. Your family came here when you were just a child. And I have to imagine they came here for very specific reasons. And you know, somebody I talked to today, a friend of mine, Manny, who is Cuban American, there's a lot of frustration with people who feel like their families who made great sacrifices to flee, that all of that was for nothing. The Castros just waited out the U.S. administration.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of surprising how long these 2 brothers live. I mean, they've outlived how many presidents so far, but it's absolutely true. The Cubans came here in the 60s expecting they were going to be going right back. That makes them very different from other immigrants who came here to start a new life. We thought we'd be going back after Bay of Pigs, and unfortunately that didn't work out. America was generous enough to give us a great home and a new life here, but that obviously leaves a different feeling about the people behind who took your country and your property from you. And a lot of the people, especially in Hollywood, look at Castro as some kind of revered figure when he and his brother are nothing more than mass murderers. They and Che Guevara. And every time I see some pinhead in Hollywood wearing a Che Guevara shirt, I think to myself, either he's an idiot, he doesn't know that Che Guevara was a mass murderer and he's wearing his face on his shirt, or he knows that he's a mass murderer, which makes him a bigger idiot for wearing a Che Guevara shirt. But unfortunately, that's the way it's always been with Cuba.
All right, Judge, we are glad that you came here. You served not only as a law enforcement officer, but as an officer of the court as well. So for that, we're grateful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll come